In an old town in the north, where fog never lifted and the streets were narrow and winding, there was a tunnel that had strange and terrifying stories surrounding it. It was part of an old railway that had long been abandoned, and now the tunnel was forgotten. But the locals avoided it, especially at night. It was said that the tunnel was cursed, and those who dared enter it often heard strange screams and footsteps, but never saw who was making them. One day, a group of students, fascinated by paranormal phenomena, decided to check out the rumors about the tunnel. Among them was Sarah, who didn't believe in the supernatural, and James, who was eager to believe anything strange, just to prove his courage. They reached the tunnel in the dead of night, when the town was swallowed by fog, and only the light of their flashlights could cut through the darkness. The tunnel looked even more ominous under the dim glow of their lights, with its walls covered in mushrooms and mold, and the air was so damp it felt sticky. As they entered the tunnel, a strange feeling overtook them. Sarah felt a chill deep inside her soul, while James continued to joke, trying to ease the tension. But as they ventured deeper, the dark walls seemed to come alive. Suddenly, from the depths, a faint, almost inaudible scream echoed. James laughed, thinking it was just an echo, but Sarah's heart tightened in fear. As they moved forward, they started to hear not just screams but footsteps, as if someone was following them. It felt like they were being watched, but every time they looked back, the tunnel was empty. Then, the beam of their flashlight illuminated a figure in old-fashioned clothing standing at the far end of the tunnel. The figure didn't move, it just stood there, staring at them. James, convinced it was just some prank, decided to approach it, but as soon as he took a step forward, the figure vanished. They continued, but with every step, the noises grew louder. The footsteps behind them quickened, and now it seemed like someone wasn't just walking, but running after them. At some point, Sarah turned around and saw strange eyes staring back at her from the dark, two glowing orbs. "Let's get out of here," she screamed, but James refused to believe it. He was sure they were on the verge of discovering something monumental. Before they could take another step, the tunnel suddenly shook. The walls vibrated, and the air grew thick and suffocating. Then, Sarah and James heard a voice that seemed to come from nowhere, right next to them. "You won't leave here," whispered the voice, and they both felt something cold touch their backs. James turned sharply, and the light from his flashlight revealed a shadow. It wasn't just a creature, it was something that was part of the tunnel itself, a dark entity hidden within its walls. Before they could scream, James was swallowed by the darkness, and when Sarah tried to find him, the tunnel seemed to consume him entirely. When she finally emerged from the tunnel, Sarah was in shock, but that wasn't the end. She returned to the town, only to begin hearing the same footsteps and screams she'd heard in the tunnel. Alone in her room one night, she looked out the window and saw James's silhouette standing at the edge of the tunnel. His eyes were empty, and from his dark lips came the same voice, "You won't leave here."